Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Bundesliga Fantasy Show. It's very lovely to be back with all you lovely people on a Friday morning to talk Bundesliga Fantasy ahead of the next match week in the Bundesrepublik, which is match week 21. We're here to get all the best, give all the best hints and tips ahead of that weekend so you can choose your squads appropriately. Joined as per by Rune on the other end. How are you, Rune? It's a bit more snowy where you are compared to where I am.
Yeah, I'm good. Just made it back to the office after being out in the snow. Took a while to get my daughter to kindergarten this morning. I actually pulled her on her little sled. So yeah, a bit of a ride, but yeah, it's really beautiful out there at least, but very cold.
Very cold. Well, we will warm everyone up, hopefully, with some very good Bundesliga fantasy, hearty content for you all. So, as per, Rune has very kindly produced the goods and given us some budget, mid-price, and premium picks for this week, defender, midfielders, and strikers. Just before we get stuck into that, please do make sure you leave a like on this video. Believe it or not, it really helps our algorithm. So thumbs up really does help us out a lot. Comment along your questions. We'll take them live. We'll take every single one that we can. As always, that's how the show goes. And of course, subscribe to the channel. And of course, notwithstanding, making sure that you go check out Bully News, Rune's excellent site, whether it's checking it out via socials or via the web for previews, reviews, fantasy content, long reads, exclusives, the lot. So go make sure you check that out. Right, we'll get straight into it then, Rune, with your defender picks for this match week, who are now circling along the bottom of your screens. So yeah, over to yourself to run us through those three.
Yeah, thank you. My budget pick is Stefan Bill from Mainz. Who is available at a very low price, 4.6 million. That's a fair price to pay for a player who's been delivering like him in recent weeks. Against Wolfsburg, he even got 409 points, and mostly he gets points from winning duels. He's very good at that. Last week, still got 144 points against RB Leipzig. Pretty decent return, I think, given the price and the top fixture as well. And as we all know, Mainz won that fixture very impressively away from home in Leipzig. Huge surprise there. And now they're playing Augsburg at home, so a bit more manageable fixture at home this week. Should be another good chance for Bill to get a strong return at home there. And my mid-price pick is Luka Vuskovic from HSV, who's been really solid all season. Basically, both him and Muheim have been doing really well consistently. And I think at the moment, I think you could make a strong case for picking them both up if you only have one of them, or if you don't have any of them at this point. HSV just got a draw against Bayern, very impressively as well. Another huge surprise. Now they're playing Heidenheim this week away from home. So I think they should have a lot of confidence heading into that game. And then they're playing Union Berlin afterwards. So Vuskovic and Muheim, both great options. Vuskovic scored for the fourth time last time. So he also has that in his locker. Big set piece threat, whereas Muheim is more capable of swinging in the crosses. So both good options this week that I wanted to highlight. And then finally, just wanted to highlight Nico Schlotterbeck from Dortmund. Actually, a sort of disappointing return last week against Heidenheim, 142 points. Still okay. That's probably the lowest. It will go with Schlotterbeck, because what is so good about him fantasy-wise is that he has so many ways of picking up points. He's a set-piece threat, and he's very involved in Dortmund's build-up, passing-wise, and also wins plenty of duels. So overall, he's just a really solid option, all-round option, capable of picking up points in multiple ways. And now I can see that Rory seems to have a bit of a technical problem. I think maybe his internet crashed. So I'll just move on to my midfield picks. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat, and I'll get to it. My midfield picks, starting off with the budget pick, is Fabio Vieira from HSV, another player from the North German side. I'd say he's probably their attacking talisman on penalties, as we saw against Bayern, which is a big plus. And generally just very involved. Passing-wise, they should see a lot more of the ball against Heidenheim. And his price is 8.9 million, and ownership is down to 2%. So he's another great option from HSV, and he's not as popular as the two defensive picks. And my mid-price option in midfield is Bilal El-Khanous. Stuttgart have a really attractive schedule coming up. They're playing St. Pauli, Köln, Heidenheim, and Wolfsburg in the next 4. So now's a good time to invest in Stuttgart assets, at least in those we are quite confident about starting, because there's a lot of rotation. I do think El-Khanous is one of the most nailed-on starters now after his return from AFCON, playing in that central attacking midfield role. And just an overall fantastic pick, I think, for the upcoming schedule. And then finally, I'm just moving on with my premium pick, Roy.
Thank you.
Nadim Amiri. I just wanted to mention him because I think a lot of managers dropped him last week due to Mainz's tough away fixture against Leipzig, which is understandable. But then again, Amiri still did well. Scored a goal and got more than 200 points. So that was his fourth 200-point plus return in a row. And now, as I mentioned earlier, Mainz are hosting Augsburg in a very different sort of game where they should be a lot more on the ball. So it should be another good week for Amiri, and I think he's one of the top picks in midfield this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Sincere apologies for my disgraceful internet performance at the moment. I say blame the rain. That's pretty much what we do in England here, despite the fact that it should be super fiber optic or whatever it's called these days. Thank you for those picks, Rune, and thank you for being as professional as ever and just cracking on when my internet has, let me down. We'll come to some comments, I think, if we haven't picked these up. So one in from friend of the show, FPL Swans. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Despite the fixture, is it time to finally sell Mittelstadt due to rotation risk? Also, good question, Rune. Based on the fact that Stuttgart were in action again midweek because of the Pokal quarterfinal, which they overcame Holstein Kiel in a tight match, at least right until the end of the game, where they kind of drew away with a couple of late goals. What do we think to this one?
Well, I was actually surprised that he was rested again last week, because that's the second Bundesliga game in a row he started on the bench. As mentioned when I talked about El-Khanous, a lot of rotation risks in that Stuttgart side, and it's quite difficult to predict what Hoeneß will do. But what I think is the alternative would probably be Hendricks, who started 5 Bundesliga games in a row. He also started the Pokal game, right, Rory? If I remember correctly. So, he's basically started every game. So actually, I think it would make more sense if he wants to rotate, if he wants to rest players, it would make more sense to rest Hendricks, because he's been playing a lot more minutes than Mittelstadt lately. And as mentioned, Mittelstadt has been rested twice in a row in the Bundesliga. So, I mean, at some point, I think he needs to start Bundesliga games again. So if you have him in your team already, I'll probably just keep him, maybe go with a formation with 3 at the back. I personally expect him to start because, as mentioned, I think resting Hendricks would make a lot more sense. Maybe he needs that rest even more. So I personally expect Middlestead to start. I think that would be the most logical move from Rune's perspective.
Yeah, no, I agree. With two utterly winnable games as well, back-to-back Bundesliga, a bit of respite from midweekers until the first leg against Celtic in a few weeks' time. That won't now be until the 19th. So yeah, two Bundesliga games in a row with no midweek at least for Stuttgart and obviously many teams involved in Europe. So thank you for that one, FPL Swans. Couple more questions here. Away Day Joe, thank you for tuning in, pal. Hope you're doing well. Exactly. Sorry, exactly the same as FPL Swans here. Do we trust Middlestead this week? Many people got stung, indeed. So I hope we've answered that one for you, pal. And then this follow-up question you have is, a lot of managers have similar teams now. It's very true indeed. Do you think the biggest differential now is what formation you pick? That's a good question. Rune from Joe, what do we think in terms of obviously the differentials we're trying to, offer up on this show from a player point of view? That people maybe experimenting with formations now could make a big difference as the season goes on.
Probably. I think the two most popular formations are 3-4-3 and 4-3-3 at the moment. With the attacking options currently, I think having 3 strikers in your starting lineup makes a lot of sense. Choosing between 4 defenders and the defenders and the midfielders, whether to go 3 or 4 there, is pretty key at the moment, and you can get rewarded for making the right decision there. I also think with some players, where it's a bit of a coin toss, who gets the most points, you can choose to go with the less owned option. There's a few examples there. And if you feel like a decision is pretty much 50-50, and you need to differentiate yourself from the people above you, then it makes a lot of sense, I think, to go with the differential option. I sort of tried to do that last week, for example, when I brought in Julian Brandt. I was quite confident he'd start for Dortmund, and they were playing Heidenheim. Wasn't like he did anything really excellent, but nevertheless, I think that's an example. I was pretty much tied between him and some of the more popular options, and then you can go with one differential, for example, and see if he can make a difference. If you feel 50-50 about the decision anyway, I think that makes a lot of sense. And I'm going to bring up an example of that up front in just a moment. One of my picks is a true example of that sort of thinking.
Yeah, lovely stuff. Thank you for those questions, Away Day Joe. Keep up your good work as well. Love following you across socials and your excellent Lego stadiums. Keep up the good work. And thank you for those questions. Another one in here from Invincible Frankel. Thank you for this. Talking about defenders, should we go for Bernardo or Kufal if you can only choose, or Kufal if you can only choose one? Right. Okay. Well, I mean, I've been backing Kufal for a long while. Actually, in my team, he's been so consistent, excellent with assists and the odd goal. Rune, he's a player that may have slipped under, radars initially, but probably a real favourite now. I think Bernardo's also probably one that's played well, but maybe not got the headlines because his wing, his fullback partner has probably been getting those headlines. What do you think about those two as options? Obviously, with the FCB fixture lineup, it does make it slightly less appealing for both assets, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially I think with Sufal, probably not going to be that much on the ball on the right side. What he usually gets his point for is also taking part in their attacking play, swinging in crosses, that sort of stuff. And he's probably less likely to be on the ball and be involved in that area of the game against Bayern, whereas Bernardo will be defending against Michael Olise. So should at least get in a position to win duels a lot, because he will be playing against a true duel player, a really individual player, making a lot of dribbles. So if I were to go with one of them, and I'm not, because they're playing Bayern away, I don't think I think there are better options basically. But Bernardo could, in principle, get a decent amount of points from winning duels, given that he will be facing those tricky Bayern attackers with quick feet. A lot will depend on him probably being able to impose himself physically and try to get the ball off them.
Yeah, absolutely. Some very good points there. Hopefully that helps you there. And thank you for the question, Invincible Frankel. Wayday Joe. Joe's gone for a question on fitness updates around Harry Kane and Amiri. There have been a few suggestions potentially that Amiri could be a doubt. Rune, can we dispel anything that we've seen recently about either of those players?
To be honest, I haven't read anything about Amiri being a doubt, but I'll be doing coverage for Bully News after this. So if there is something, if Fischer says something about Amiri being doubtful, I'll probably cover it. So keep an eye out on Bully News. Same with Kane. He's been ill this week.
Yes.
So that's a really interesting thing. Yeah. We don't know yet if he'll be fit to play, but hopefully we'll get an update. If he's in training today, then he should be pretty safe to start. And they're playing on Sunday, so he has a bit more time to recover. I think they'll do all they can to have him ready for the game, because Bayern really need to bounce back now. And it is a difficult game. It's a tricky fixture against Hoffenheim. So we'll see. He's a question mark at the moment.
Yes, he is. Like you say, the Sunday game and the fact that it is a big game would suggest that if he is training today, it leans towards him being put into the starting 11. Wouldn't even be shocked if he didn't train and then also still got thrown into the mix. We will see. So hopefully that helps you there, Joe. Perfect. Some great questions there and comments. Thanks a lot, guys. That was awesome. We'll just now move on to the last segment of the show, which, of course, are the striker picks from Rune. So back over to yourself, pal, to walk us through your 3 picks.
Thank you. Budget pick is Philip Tietz from Mainz. Another Mainz option. I think Tietz has been remarkably consistent fantasy-wise since joining Mainz on loan from Augsburg. He scored over 200 points 3 times in his last 4 games. Now he's playing against his parent club. Could also be an extra motivation there to prove himself. Even against Leipzig, where he didn't get past 200 points, he still got 170 points, which I think is very decent, given the price and the matchup as well. So I think for the price, doesn't get much better than Tietz currently up front. And then the player I was alluding to earlier when I talked about differentials was Antonio Nusa, because his numbers are really insane. Lately, he's produced back-to-back 300 points scores, and has actually been at least matching Diamante's returns lately, his teammate, and even performed better, I think, form-wise. So he's on a really good he's in really good form at the moment, and getting some incredible returns. And even last week when Leipzig lost to Mainz, he still got a really insane amount of points. So that's an example of a player you could go with instead of Diamante, for example, if you want to set yourself apart. Or you could double up on Leipzig if you trust them, because both players clearly are capable of picking up consistent returns. That they're both very involved, taking on players, swinging in crosses, taking shots a lot. So they're doing a lot of the stuff that just makes you get good returns consistently at the moment. And his ownership is down to 6%, so maybe worth a shout. And then finally, my premium pick is Dennis Undav, who, as you know, Rory, continued his good run against Holstein Kiel in the cup. Got on the score sheet there again. So just a very important player for Stuttgart at the moment, and not just scoring goals, also producing assists and taking part in build-up play, holding up play, and that sort of stuff. So he's just very involved for Stuttgart. A nailed-on starter at the moment. Taking him out doesn't really make sense, I think, with the form he's in. It looks like he's really just, keen to get as many minutes as possible at the moment. And as we talked about earlier, Stuttgart have a really good schedule coming up. So, I think a very good option for the coming weeks.
Yeah, 100%. As you say, with Undav, it's not just his goals. Three assists in his last 3 games. He is a player that connects the team really well, for sure. Although his assists, got an assist against Freiburg, although I think Demirovic did the bulk of the work. In fairness for that goal, fabulous goal it was. And yeah, when you say about rotation or even just in terms of how much the player is playing, just the one in his last 7, I think he hasn't started, and that was against Gladbach, where he came off the bench to still score in 30 minutes. So I would expect exactly that, Rune, that he would make a start, fly into things against St. Pauli. Lovely stuff. So we'll take any questions if they come in the next few minutes. Just whilst we're kind of closing up, Rune, any thoughts on honourable mentions for any other striking assets? Obviously, we saw Siru Guirassy bag a couple, in that comeback versus Heidenheim. Do we think that's maybe the start of a comeback for him? Obviously, it's a decent looking fixture as well for Dortmund this weekend. Any other players apart from him, perhaps?
He's definitely worth considering after that brace last time out. A shame he didn't score that penalty, second one. Apart from him, someone like Matanovic from Freiburg maybe is available at a very low price, and they're playing Werder. Of course, Werder have a new coach now in June, so maybe they'll see a bit of manager bounce, but nevertheless, should be a good game for Freiburg on paper. And he doesn't cost a lot. Then there's always someone like Patrick Schick, who I think will start. He was on the bench last time. They're playing Gladbach in a bit of a local derby. Gladbach are in a lot of trouble at the moment. So if you feel confident enough about Schick starting, he's a player who's always capable of getting a brace, maybe even a hat trick on a really good day. So he's just an overall solid fantasy option too.
Absolutely. And there is a question in here from Invincible Frankel. Thank you for this one. If Kane isn't fit to start, which 3 players out of Diaz, Undav, Diamande, and Nusa should we pick there? So, some good options to pick from. Rune, I think we're assuming that Undav's probably a fairly safe bet out of those. Obviously you've already mentioned Nusa in terms of that kind of differential angle versus Diamande, but equally can produce the goods. And then Diaz, fancy regular and player that is always likely to start if he is capable and able, trusted by and company a lot. So I mean, all of them are good picks, but in terms of what Invincible Frankel is asking, what could you offer in response?
I think the most safe way of dealing with this would be to go with Diaz and Undav, and then one of the Leipzig players. And then Diomande. Again, he's probably the most safe pick. He's arguably the star player from Leipzig and has been really good throughout the season. But then again, depends on which position you're in. If you want to, if you need another player to try to differentiate yourself, I think Nusa, as I said, is an excellent alternative. Has proved in the last few weeks that he's capable of, even outperforming Diomande fantasy-wise. So yeah, probably Diaz and Undav, and then one of those two, depending on what sort of position you're in, what sort of risk you want to take. If you want to play it safe, it would be Diaz, Undav, and Diomande. If you want to take a bit more of a gamble and pick a differential, it would be Nusa as the third pick, I think.
Perfect. Thank you for that question. I hope that helps out. Smashing stuff. That will draw us to a close this morning. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in and watched with us, whether you've asked a question or not. All part of the excellent and lovely community that we have here on the show. So we will just finish off by saying, as ever, if you can leave a like on this video, that would be really, really helpful. If you've not been watching us live, please do comment, and we will offer suggestions and replies up to the deadline this evening for transfers. And make sure you go find us on social media. Our account is at the Bundesliga Show. We will post all different shows and schedules and promote on there, so do keep an eye out for us. And of course, Bully News do all their posting there, and Rune, as he mentioned, we doing some posts around Kane's fitness and things like that, so imperative that you are following along for updates on that. So yeah, thank you, Rune. Cheers guys, we'll catch you again on Monday to review it all. Cheers all.
Bye.